Hey, how's it going everybody? I'm Jake the Human. These are my predictions of what we're going to see from Nintendo at E3 2017. Okay, so this is going to be a quick casual video. I'm just going to talk about what I think we're going to see. I will say, though, that I had quite a few predictions laid out to talk about that I kind of really figured were going to happen, and then Nintendo announced their E3 plans yesterday, right before I was going to record this video. So that kind of threw a wrench in things, but not too badly. But there are a couple interesting things here. So let me just go over what Nintendo's plan is going to be. So it says here on June 13th, 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, they're going to do another digital presentation. That doesn't really shock me too much. It's worked really well for them the past few years, so why fix what's not broken, right? Another one of my predictions was going to be that Super Mario Odyssey was going to be a huge focus here, and it looks to be the case, because you'll see here Mario with the cap is on the image they released, and they even say that they specifically point out Switch games for 2017, including Super Mario Odyssey. So that's going to be a big focus. I really do think we're going to see what the cap is about, what the crazy cap story is, why it's alive, maybe who those bunnies are, a gist of the story, and we're going to play it. It's going to be playable. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to get hands-on with it, hopefully, and really dive into this game. And I think we are going to get a release date. Maybe not a specific day, but I think we're going to get a release month, and I'm really thinking it's going to be November, mid to late November, to really rack up those sales for the holiday, the whole Switch sales, and I think it's going to be a really big success for them. So then they also go into saying that there will be a Nintendo Treehouse immediately after the Direct, and that's going to focus on 3DS gameplay and more Switch gameplay. Probably going to get more. There may be a couple announcements during the Treehouse for 3DS. I don't think we're going to get any Switch announcements during that, unless they're very minor, like eShop type games. But yeah, the Treehouse works really well. It went really well last year, so I think that's great. And then on June 13th and the 14th, they're going to have a Splatoon and an ARMS tournament, which could be really cool. That could be a lot of fun to watch. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's get into it. The other interesting thing, however, quickly, they do specifically point out that they say Nintendo Switch games for 2017. Now that's where the wrench got thrown into my plans, because I really thought they were going to have a whole blowout. I'm hoping they still do, but I don't know if it's the right decision to focus on a few games in 2017 instead of just show everybody what you have coming. You know, that being said, everybody said that about Zelda last year. You're going to bring one game to E3, and it worked wonders for them. So I trust them. They know what they're doing. I'll roll with it. But that's going to tweak my predictions a little bit. So let's get started. Like I said, I already kind of went through all my Super Mario Odyssey thoughts. So that's basically it. It's going to be a major focus, the hat mechanic, the story. Oh, and one more thing I thought was interesting. In the original Switch reveal trailer, the girl who was playing it, she goes to the party, and then they break off two Joy-Cons. That sparked a little bit of curiosity, wondering if there's going to be any multiplayer involved in Super Mario Odyssey. I don't really see that happening, at least not to a major extent. I don't think we're going to get Mario and Luigi co-op 3D Mario World style gameplay. That would be awesome. I don't see it happening. I think, if anything, it's going to be more like Super Mario Galaxy multiplayer, where one person controls the hat's movement slightly or something like that. Just to sort of add co-op, but no one's ever going to really use it. So those are my general thoughts of Super Mario Odyssey. I am really excited to see the game in more detail. It's one of my most anticipated games, and I was freaking out during the presentation in January when they unveiled it. It looks amazing, and I've been waiting for a real, true 3D Mario, like Sunshine style, since Sunshine. So yeah, I'm stoked for that game. Let's go through some of the obvious stuff. Another one I think we will see and will play is Fire Emblem Warriors. We know that game is coming out this year. If they're focusing on games that are just in 2017, I think it's going to have a pretty big focus. Hyrule Warriors was an amazing success. I personally love that game. My wife and I played countless hours for that game, and we haven't even actually completed all of it yet. The game is massive, so we're both freaked out. We're huge Fire Emblem fans too, so when that was unveiled, we lost our minds. But I have looked into it more. I've watched that trailer a couple times, and like people also have noticed, those orbs that come in that kind of form the Fire Emblem shield, each one of them has a sword in it. And those swords belong to iconic characters. So we saw the Falchion, I still don't know how to say that. I say Falchion, but we'll just roll with it. So the Falchion, that belongs to Chrom, obviously, but it also belongs to Lucina. We saw the Ryoma's Raijinto, and Xander's Siegfried. We saw Corrin's Yato, and we saw Marth's Falchion. So the way I think this is going to work, and I'm going to make a Fire Emblem's character prediction video, or Fire Emblem Warriors characters prediction video as well, where I'll delve more into this, but I think in Hyrule Warriors they focused on 3 games. It was Skyward Sword, Ocarina, and Twilight Princess, and they pulled characters from those 3 games. And then with the DLC, they added more fan-favorite characters that people kind of wanted to see, and some oddball characters too, from games outside of those core 3. I think they're going to follow the same sort of method with picking their characters for Fire Emblem Warriors, because with those swords we see 3 games. We see Awakening, we see the original Fire Emblem with Marth, and we see Fates. And I think the bulk of our characters in the main game are going to be from those 3 games. Obviously, we're going to get Chrom, Lucina, Ryoma, Xander, and Marth, and Corrin. We're going to see those characters. They're basically a given. What form they'll take, we'll see. But I think with Fire Emblem Warriors, we're going to get a trailer. We're going to learn more about the mechanics of the game, how it's going to work, because with Hyrule Warriors, they did a pretty good job of melding the Zelda formula with the Dynasty Warriors formula, with the items and the hearts and just things like that, and the treasure chest. So it'll be interesting to see how they meld Fire Emblem with Dynasty Warriors, especially with the weapons triangle. I don't know how they're going to do that when you're killing hundreds upon thousands of enemies at a time, or if it'll even come into play. But that's Fire Emblem's biggest mechanic, and other than permadeath, and if they do permadeath in Fire Emblem Warriors, that would suck, and so it's not going to happen. So what I do think we're going to see this year from Fire Emblem Warriors, we're going to get a little bit of a hint at the story, we're going to see the mechanics and how the game actually works, and I think we're going to get a couple character reveals. I really do think we're going to see one from each of those 3 games I mentioned. From Awakening, I imagine us seeing Lucina. She's a huge fan favorite, and people I think would be really excited to see her. From Fates, I see us getting Ryoma, because I feel like I love Ryoma, and I feel like a lot of people also love Ryoma, but compared to some of the other characters in that game, in Fates, I don't think he's as exciting as some people like Xander. I feel like has more fans than Ryoma. I know I'm probably going to piss people off when I say this. I like Xander more than Ryoma personally. Or people like Takumi. Takumi has a ton of fans. Leo has a ton of fans. Camilla has a ton of fans. So on and so forth. I think Lucina's going to bring most of the hype from Awakening. Then there'll be Ryoma as sort of an awesome character to see, but not a mega fan favorite. And then I think we're going to see Marth. Marth obviously is a major character. He is the original Lord of Fire Emblem. He's going to be in the game one way or another. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. So I think we're going to see those 3 characters. I know they're all sword characters, so I could be wrong about this. They might choose to switch it up a little bit and have like a Pegasus Rider, add Cordelia, which please add Cordelia. I love Cordelia. They might add Robin as a mage. They might add Azura as a lance wielder. Who knows? They could do a lot of cool stuff with it, but I think we're at the main point I'm getting across is I think we're going to see one character from each game. And I do think it's going to be playable. I'm hoping to have a chance to play it because it comes out later this year. I also do think, like Mario Odyssey, we are going to get a release month. This one I think is going to be September. If I remember correctly, Hyrule Warriors also released in September. And I feel like this is kind of a good point between summer and fall, winter, between Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey to kind of fill that gap with an awesome game that just kind of fun action game that people could really enjoy. So what else? Obviously, there's going to be a major focus on ARMS. They're having a tournament over the first 2 days, and it also comes out on the last day of E3. It's actually released at the end of E3. And while we know quite a bit about the game, I feel like there's a lot missing. I think there's a lot of modes. We haven't seen any real single player content. We just got a brief glimpse at 4-player combat, which looks awesome, by the way. But I really think we're going to see a lot of new fists. I think we're going to see a characters just blowout. I think we're going to get 3-4 characters, hopefully at least. Probably 3. Kind of fill out those last 3 that were leaked characters. Along with Helix. So yeah, ARMS blowout. We're gonna know everything about the game before Friday when it actually comes out, and get people really jazzed and excited to go and actually pick it up. The last thing I think we know for sure is Splatoon 2. That's gonna be a massive game. And like ARMS, they're also having a tournament for it, so I think we're going to get the bulk of our information at E3 this year. It comes out a couple months after E3, or is it July? It might come out, I'll have to check, but a month or 2 after E3, so unless they're going to do a separate direct for Splatoon, like they did with the previous game, which they might want to save E3 for other things, but I feel like there is going to be a Splatoon kind of blowout, similar to ARMS. I think we're going to get a glimpse at the story mode, actually figure out what's going on with Callie and Marie, where Captain Cuttlefish is, that kind of thing. I think we're going to see a lot more of the story mode, and I think we're going to see a lot of new weapons. At least I hope so. If we get 2-3 new weapon styles in this game, that would be awesome, not including the Splat Dualies, because the core weapons were great, but I would like to see 3-4 more new weapons. And we got one of those with the Splat Dualies, which during the global test fire I played with the entire time, and I love them. I think they're a blast. So I would like to see what else, what other kind of weapons and paint related themes they could come up with. I think it could be pretty cool. The last thing I thought would be cool about Splatoon 2 is, and I don't think this is going to happen, and I know it was a huge thing with Splatoon 1. I don't really know if people really still want this with Splatoon 2, but it would be pretty cool if they teased playable Octolings. I just think it'd be cool. The Octolings all looked really cool. I like their tentacle looking hair. I thought it was awesome. And I like how they turned into octopus instead of squid. Octopi instead of squid. God, why did I just do that? Anyway. Wow, I totally lost my train of thought. Octolings, okay. So Octolings, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think it'd be cool to trick them out in a bunch of new clothes, change their hairstyle and stuff. It'd be cool to see them that way. And otherwise, I do think if they're not playable, I think they're going to show up in the story mode again, and I'm hoping that they have kind of varied hairstyles and stuff in various forms instead of just the basic Octoling style. So that's it. That's what we know for sure. The only other thing that might show up that we already know about is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I never beat Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I tried. It's so long, and it's so good. It's so good, and I never got a chance to beat or even play X on Wii U, but I wanted to play that game too. But they're really long. They take a lot of time. But this one I might be able to do. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, as long as I don't really need to know everything about the first game's plot, I will probably pick it up because I think it could be pretty cool, and being able to play at home and on the go, I might actually have the time to beat it. So that could be really cool. I don't know how much we're going to see of that. With Xenoblade Chronicles X, they kept saying it's going to come out, it's going to come out. We kept seeing little bits and pieces, and then it took forever. As far as the 2017 release that they said it was going to be, I really do genuinely think that's just going to be Japan. The games are huge, they take a long time to translate. I don't think America will see Xenoblade Chronicles 2 until at least early, at the very least early 2018. So that's that. Now I would like to talk about things we don't know for sure. Games, this is the exciting part. Games that we don't know are coming. Things that we think might be coming. Rumors that have been brewing about certain games. That's the stuff that's fun. That's what makes E3 so exciting. We know about the games that I just mentioned, and those are all exciting games, but we want new stuff. We want to see what else is coming to the Switch. So this is what I think is going to happen. I do believe in the rumor of the Mario Rabbids crossover game. I don't. There was a rumor recently, I honestly can't remember who I saw it, who leaked it, but about each character, they were going to have sort of sci-fi weapons. Like Yoshi was going to have a ray gun or something like that. That seems a little strange to me. I really can't figure out. I know Rabbids come from outer space, but something about that just seems odd. But that being said, I mean, the whole crossover seems really, really strange. But it's so strange that I'm intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued, and I'd like to see what this actually is. If it's another RPG, a Super Mario RPG style game, and it just happens to cross over with Rayman's World and the Rabbids, I'm down. Let's see what it's like, you know? We'll see. I do think we are going to get a teaser of it. I don't know how much gameplay we're actually going to see, but we might get a trailer. And I feel like this game could come out in the fallish time as well. For people who don't like action-type games like Fire Emblem Warriors, fun, easy, sort of fun-loving RPG like Mario and Rabbids would be, could fill that gap, especially for kids who might be wanting to get into RPGs and stuff like that too. So, yeah, that could be really cool. It could be really weird, but I think we might see a teaser for it. The only reason we might not is if this game is a 2018 game and they are actually going to stick to their statement about sticking just to 2017 games. So we might not actually see it, but if it comes out in 2017, which it might because it's been rumored for so long, we know so much, we don't know a lot about it, but we've heard so much about it for so long now that I think it's real, and I think it's far enough along that we could get a trailer. I was going to say, before yesterday's announcement, that we were going to see a teaser of Metroid. I want to see a teaser for a new Metroid game. Nintendo has to know. They have to know that we want a new Metroid game. It's been too long, and they know that Federation Force didn't go over very well, because we want a real Metroid game. Now, I gotta confess, I've never actually beaten a Metroid game, but I do enjoy them. I enjoyed Prime 1, I enjoyed Prime 3, I never actually beat them. They just weren't my style of game back then, but I'm a lot more into them now. And I got pretty damn close to beating Fusion, but that could be cool. And even, here's an interesting thing, kind of a bold thing. I'm not entirely sure that the new Metroid game is going to be a Prime-style game. I think it could be a really cool new, back-to-its-roots 2D Metroid. I think that would be really cool, personally. Especially because Nintendo loves their 2D platformers lately, and not a lot of them have been as great as some people wanted them to be. Like Chibi Robo Ziplash. Anyway, that could be a thing. I'd be totally okay with seeing a 2D Metroid. I'd be totally okay with seeing a new Prime-style game, or just a new game in general. A new game in the series, not Prime, not anything, just a new 3D sort of Metroid game. That could be really cool. But I'm getting on a tangent because now that we're sticking to 2017 games, I don't see that happening anymore. If they're going to actually stick to 2017, they're not going to reveal a Metroid trailer. There's no time in the rest of the year to reveal and release a Metroid game. With Mario Odyssey and Metroid and Fire Emblem Warriors, and if that Mario Rabbids crossover comes, I don't see that happening. Also, the game I am going to mention that I'm pretty damn positive will be released this year, at least I really hope so. I'll talk about that next. Anyway, I don't think we're going to see Metroid. I think that's going to be a 2018 thing now. I thought we were going to get a teaser and then have a blowout at E3 2018, but I think we're going to get just that trailer and information at 2018, and it'll release next year. So don't expect to see Metroid. I don't personally anymore, and that's my feelings on that matter. Let's see here. Okay, so I said I would talk about it. We're going to see Smash. If we don't see Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, I am going to be utterly shocked. Everybody wants Smash. It was rumored for so long. I don't think it's going to be a new game. I really do genuinely think we're going to get a port of Smash 4, the 3DS and Wii U one, and they're just going to call it Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. I think it's going to be a deluxe edition. They might up-res the graphics a little bit, make it look a little bit better. That could be cool. And I think we're going to see most, if not all, of the stages from the 3DS and Wii U version in this single deluxe edition of Super Smash Bros. And that is a ton of content, and it would be so awesome. I mean, I can play Smash for right now, even though I've played it for hours upon hours upon hours with my friends. We could all come over and I'd have a blast with it. So if we had all of those 3DS stages and HD to play as well, awesome. I'm sold. So I think it's going to have all of the DLC characters, all of the stages, and just be a total, complete package for Super Smash Bros. 4. One thing I would like to see, and I think they could do it now, is take Smash Run, that was on the 3DS version of Smash 4, and bring it over to Super Smash Bros. Switch. Smash Tours was not very much fun at all. I'll say it. It wasn't. I didn't feel like it was very well thought out. It felt kind of boring and confusing, and I never knew what was happening. Smash Tours can go. Bring Smash Run for Smash on Switch. I would love if you could do local multiplayer on the screen. I think that would be great. Sort of Kirby Air Ride, City Trial style. Split it 4 ways. Let each player go and actually interact with each other. That's the thing with Smash Run. Whether it's local multiplayer wirelessly where everybody needs copy, or it's local multiplayer single cartridge, we should be able to interact with each other. It's not a huge deal because Smash Run was fun as is, but I would like to run over to my brother who's all cocky playing Smash Run, saying he's got a bunch of good stuff, and knock it all out of him and take it. You know, that would be so much fun. So yeah, I'd like to see Smash Run on Switch. I really do genuinely hope we see that. Now, I'm going to get into a little more on Smash Switch here. I'm hoping for new costumes. And I'll talk about this. I may or may not do a Smash video. We'll see if it's revealed at E3, and then maybe I'll do more of what I want from it, depending on what amount of information we get here. But I think DLC sort of costumes would be really cool. I think it'd be a good way to extend the replayability of the game, add fresh things every once in a while, and just have $1, $2 for costume packs. So say, I'd say Breath of the Wild, and that could be really cool for like Link and Zelda, but I think Hyrule Warriors character designs were awesome, and I'd easily, gladly pay $5 or so to have the Hyrule Warriors version of Link, Zelda, Ganondorf in particular, and Sheik, because I think they all look really, really badass, and I think they'd be really fun to play as in Smash Switch. Another example would be like Mr. L for Luigi. I think that would be a really cool costume. Or Dry Bowser. I was actually really surprised Dry Bowser wasn't in the original game. Outside Island pajama style Toon Link. That would be awesome. New costume DLC I think would be a really smart way to make a little bit more money for Nintendo and add a little bit of more fresh content continuously for the lifespan of the Switch. And then last thing I want to talk about is I do think this game will have new characters. I think there's going to be a couple at the release of the game, and I think there will be more DLC characters further down the line. But the way I see this going, and I think it'd be really cool, we'll see, but I imagine a Super Smash Bros. Switch reveal trailer, and we see the 3DS stages. We maybe see Smash Run. We see all of the DLC characters in one game. We see all of this cool stuff, right? And then at the end of it, new challenger approaching. It's wah, wah, wah. And as it's going wah, wah, new challenger approaching, we hear the and the screen gets shot by ink splatters of a bunch of different colors, and we hear a little bit of an inkling sound, and then it pans over. Inklings are revealed for Smash. If there is a new character, a newcomer, it's going to be the Inklings. Inklings are huge. Everybody wants to see them in Smash. Splatoon is massive, massive franchise, especially in Japan. They're going to be in the new Smash Brothers game. I'd be shocked if they weren't. The other character, I think we're going to see the newcomer as Inklings, and we're going to see one new veteran returning, and that is going to be Ice Climbers. Everybody was, not everybody. I didn't really care. It was kind of sad to see him go, but Ice Climbers got cut, and it surprised a lot of people, myself included, and it's because of the 3DS's power, and they wanted to make the same game on 3DS and Wii U. So, I do think we will see the Ice Climbers return to Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, because we don't need to worry about that power constraint anymore. The thing is more powerful than the Wii U or the 3DS, and they're just making one game, one deluxe game. We're gonna see the Ice Climbers, and I think I'm hoping at least that we'll see both of these characters revealed at E3 this year. So that's my ideas on Smash. I'd be shocked if we don't get a trailer for Super Smash Bros. And I do think it's going to release in holiday alongside Super Mario Odyssey. I know that has a potential of sort of cannibalizing each other because they're both going to be really, really, really big games. But I think a lot of people are waiting till holiday to buy their Nintendo Switches. I mean, they're hard to come by to begin with anyway. So I'm hoping at least, and I think they will, Nintendo is going to have a very, very large quantity available in stores, so people can go actually purchase the console. And they're going to want games to play on that console. They're going to get Breath of the Wild because they've been hearing how great it was for a year. They're going to get Super Mario Odyssey because that's what they were waiting for in the first place. And they need a multiplayer game. That game could and should be Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. Okay, so, very quick prediction here. I think we're going to see Breath of the Wild Expansion Pack 2. There's supposed to be new story content for that, and I think that's the extent of what we're going to see. I don't think we're going to see all of the other stuff that's coming with it, but I think we're going to see a small glimpse, sort of teaser, as to what is going to come to that additional story content. I think it's really important. People are really clamoring to see what it is. I am, at least personally, and I do genuinely think we're going to see it. Another Breath of the Wild expansion DLC prediction. I think we might actually get Expansion Pack 1 during E3. Whether it's right after the presentation, or if it's at the end of E3, or if it's maybe even the next week, I think we're going to see a little bit more of information about that, and they're going to say, yeah, it's also available really, really soon. That's always really fun at E3 when they do that kind of thing. Anybody does that kind of thing, where they say, here, check out this cool thing, get excited, and also go get it right now. I'd love to see that for the Expansion Pass 1. Okay, so, let's see. Again, here's another thing. Pikmin 4. We've heard about Pikmin 4 way back on the Wii U. Miyamoto teased that they're well on their way to developing that game. Like, they're well into development on Pikmin 4. I think we never heard anything on it because they realized the Wii U was going to fail, and they wanted to save the next Pikmin game for the Nintendo Switch. Now, like I said, I thought we would see a big blowout, and I thought we'd get our first glimpse of Pikmin 4, have it released early next year, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore because they're sticking to 2017. So, it could happen. It would be awesome if it happened. I love Pikmin. Don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, that same thing also goes for Animal Crossing Switch. Now, the only thing here is, I really thought we were going to see it. The only saving grace here that gives Animal Crossing a chance to show up, I think, is the mobile game. We heard about the mobile game a long, long time ago. Before we even knew about Super Mario Run, we heard about Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem. Super Mario Run came out, Fire Emblem came out, and then Animal Crossing was supposed to be delayed, or supposed to be released last year, and then got delayed to this year. So, we'll see. That could show up here and have sort of a tie-in to reveal Animal Crossing Switch. That being said, with all of the games we know are coming and think are coming this year, I don't think Animal Crossing will be coming to the Switch this year. I think that's a pretty big game. People are going to be really excited about it, and I feel like that needs some focus, and if it's going to be jammed in with all these other games, I just don't see that happening. So I'm not entirely expecting to see Animal Crossing. The only saving grace would be the mobile game tying into it. Oh goodness, my dogs are so upset that I'm doing this. Okay, the last thing, I've got one more prediction here. We are, again, I will be absolutely stunned. There is no way in hell Nintendo doesn't give us details about the Virtual Console coming to Switch this year. at this E3. No way in hell. Everybody wants it. I'm really surprised it honestly wasn't there at launch of the Switch. I think a lot of people were shocked about that. So this is their time. This is their time to show everything about the Virtual Console. Show us how it's going to work. Show us how the link system works. Can I transfer any of my stuff over? That kind of thing. We are going to see the Virtual Console. I don't think we're going to get the full extent of the Virtual Console. I think we'll see NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Advance like we always get, and we're going to get the same games that we always get. It's unfortunate. I'd like to see some new stuff, but that's the way it is, and I see that panning out the same way it's panned out over the last multiple Virtual Consoles. I do think N64 will come. I think there's a chance of DS coming. I don't know how many people actually played the DS games on the Wii U. That worked because of the two-screen thing. I don't know if it's going to work for Switch. I know you could play it on one screen, but don't really think anybody wants to do that, so I'm not sure DS is going to come back. And I think GameCube will be coming to the Virtual Console for Nintendo Switch. GameCube is going to come. Everybody really wants it. There's a ton of good GameCube games. Everybody thought it was going to come to the Wii U, never did. They might be saving it for Switch, and I think it would be huge. Get Super Smash Bros. Melee, which people really love. Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, Kirby Air Ride. There are a ton of GameCube games. GameCube was like the golden era for some GameCube games. I would love to see Mario Party 5, personally. I love Mario Party 5. That could be awesome. I think it's going to come, but I don't think we're going to see it right away. It's going to be those first classic NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance style things, but we're going to get a big Virtual Console blowout. Backpacking off of that, I've got another sort of bold, sort of safe prediction here. We're going to see Mother 3. Please let us see Mother 3. Okay, sorry about that. I had to feed my dogs. Okay, anyway, backpacking up, like I was saying, Mother 3. There's no way we're not going to see Mother 3 here. Nintendo knows we want Mother 3. They even made fun of the fact that we want Mother 3 in their E3 video with Robot Chicken in their Direct a few years back.
Come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3! How about this instead?
So they know we want Mother 3, and I think after the success of Earthbound's unveiling on the Wii U, and they released the original Earthbound game also on Wii U, those did pretty well for them, and I think this is the year. I think they wanted to release it on Wii U and said, no, this is going to be a huge game, let's release this when Virtual Console comes out on the Nintendo Switch. That's going to be a big selling point. It's an exciting game. Like I said, we're going to get all of the classic old games we always get on Virtual Console. We're going to get Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3. We're going to get the original Zelda. We're going to get Super Metroid. We're going to get all those games, Link to the Past, which is great, but they also need an exciting game to make this that much more exciting, and I think Mother 3 really is that game. So I think we're going to see it, and I think Nintendo would be really, really absurd to not release it on the Switch, and specifically this year. The last prediction I have about Virtual Console is that it will release after the Direct. I think they're going to do a system update. They're gonna show us everything, and they're gonna show us a system update and say, hey, go update your systems, get Virtual Console, and you can get all of these games right now. That would be super exciting. People would be jazzed about that. I really do think so. And the other thing I just now remembered, I totally forgot about, because they briefly mentioned Virtual Console in some interview after the presentation, and we haven't heard anything about it for months, so I'm kind of forgetting things, but I just remembered they mentioned that the NES and Super Nintendo games are going to have online multiplayer. That actually is really, really exciting, and I genuinely want to see how that works. I think that's going to be really cool. Super Mario Kart Online could be really awesome. Things like even Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Bros. 3. Can I play online and call up one of my buddies and be like, hey, let's play some Super Mario Bros. 3. I'll play Mario, and then I end my turn, he watches that, and then I watch him play through as Luigi, and so on and so forth, that kind of thing. I want to see how they're going to do online for Virtual Console. And then my very last prediction from what we're going to see at E3 2017 is not a game, but backpacking again off the online features, we're going to figure out Nintendo's strategy for online. We know it's going to be paid. We know we're going to get a trial virtual console game every month, something like that. I think we're going to have to give it back at the end of the month, or at least it won't work, or maybe we'll have the option to purchase it or some dumb crap like that. But we're going to figure that out, and I think we're going to figure out how much it costs. Now, so far, I've only actually played Mario Kart online. I've got Bomberman, I've got Puyo Puyo Tetris, but I haven't actually played them online. I have never really felt the urge to. Mario Kart I played online, and it went really well. It was very smooth, and I'd never ran into any frame rate drops, any lag, or anything like that. Splatoon 2, I also played that online, obviously, during the test fire. That, again, at least for me personally, went really, really well. It was very smooth, very quick, very easy. But it was just basic online like we saw on the Wii U. And so, if they're going to make us pay for it, they need to up the ante a little bit. And now we know there's going to be voice chat. We know there's going to be some smartphone app. But it's all really confusing right now. And I really do genuinely think this is the time, with ARMS coming out that week, with Splatoon coming out a month or two later, with the potential of Super Smash Bros. Coming out this year, they need to show us what the paid online is going to look like. And hopefully we can download the app immediately after E3 as well, and test it out for ourselves when we get ARMS and play it online. So they need to do that, and I think they will do that. So that's it. I can't think of anything else right now. Those are my basic, quick E3 predictions. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of that, will happen, and I'm going to play all these games. That's what's really exciting about this. I know I'm going to play Super Mario Odyssey. I know I'm going to play Fire Emblem. I may have a small chance of playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but it's going to play like Xenoblade Chronicles. Hopefully, I'm going to play as the Inklings and Ice Climbers in Super Smash Bros. Switch. That's a fingers crossed for that one. So that's it, guys. That's what I think is going to happen with Nintendo at E3 2017. What do you think of my predictions? What are your predictions? I want to know. Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when I upload a new video. Thanks a ton for watching, guys, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.